Yay. Okay, we're waiting for it to just go live. Just a couple minutes. There's seconds here. And wow, I am so excited and grateful to have this incredible woman here today for you to meet. Not only is she a powerful power partner for the Business Acceleration Network and Media Magic. This woman knows publishing and getting your book out there and getting your message out there, unlike anything I've ever seen before. I'm so honored, Juliet, that you're coming to Media Magic because I know you're busy. You deal with clients all over the world. So I'm just so grateful that not only are you coming, but you're bringing people along to help them get their press kit done. But Juliet, before I introduce you, hold on just a second. I love speaking from my heart, but I'm like, I didn't pull up her bio.
Did I send you a bio?
No, I know you well enough that I should. And actually, we did a beautiful press release about you, Juliet.
Yeah, we've done a couple. It's so funny because, you know, they always warn you in public speaking, don't let them speak from the heart. Don't let them speak from the heart.
Yeah, not me. So you and I have known each other for quite some time from CEO space, and it was so great. We always had great conversations, but it wasn't until the last couple of years where we've really seen how we can both support each other. Your company is called Superbrand Publishing. I got to know you, and I kind of tagged you as the queen of quizzes. You tend to help people use quizzes to close more business, use them, and I'll let you interject in a minute because I may not say it the best way, but what I've learned is that there's a way to question, to really have people looking at like, wow, I need you, first off, like, oh my gosh, I didn't think about this, I need you, but also just as the speaker, the author, the coach, to really cipher down, is this going to be a good fit for me? And I think that's really powerful. We're going to talk about a few things, but Juliet, do you want to share just for a minute about your quiz magic?
So the quizzes, we're doing some of them still, not as much as we used to, because people are getting a little tired of them. But here's the thing about a quiz is, in 2016, I went all in on the funnels and the clicks, and I thought that was the way to get to the digital world. And before I owned this company, I was a high-end real estate agent. And my magic was building relationships, personal relationships. So when all that digital just didn't seem to gel, we moved over into the quizzes, and we moved over into a mind shift in sales that wasn't I'm going to barrage you with a bunch of sales stuff and pretend that a click is a relationship. Now I'm going to spend time personally getting to know you, building trust, finding out what you need. And then when you're on a call with me, you're going to get a lot of value. You're not going to get a sales pitch. And the reason for that is that as much as I'm on a call with you, it isn't about you choosing me. It's about me choosing you. And when you get into that mind shift, and that's what a quiz helps you do, is get that call, that initial call, but listen to things like, how do they present themselves? How do they work? Do they need a lot of nurturing, or are they action people? If you're an action person, you're my person. If I hear that. If you're a nurturer, everybody who knows me knows I'm not much of a nurturer.
You do get stuff done though.
I get stuff done. So, kind of listening to all of that, listening to, talking about their past sort of failures, if you will, and do they take responsibility? Or do they blame other people? Yeah. So there's a lot of stuff that happens in there where you decide, once you get really in this, is this my ideal client? Because when you choose the wrong client for the wrong reason, they will suck up your time and energy. When you have a stable full of your people and you're all aligned and you're all working together, everything is amazing. So that's where the quizzes came in, is really identifying where those people are, and stop selling. Let those people sell you. I would say 90% of time on a phone call, somebody will say, so what are the next steps?
Yep. That's what's powerful. Okay, so I want to read it now. Juliet Clark, the founder of Superbrand Publishing, is dedicated to showing brilliant entrepreneur authors a way to expand their visibility in the marketplace well ahead of publishing their books, which is key, building their audience and generate revenue. And she's so good at that. She's a 6-time author, speaker, and podcaster who has spent the last 20 years helping authors, coaches, speakers, and small businesses all over the world build expert audiences. Juliet and her team at Superbrand Publishing welcomes the chance to help design the perfect sustainable marketing strategy for your business, book, and other exciting endeavors. And yes, you do.
Did you rewrite that? That's amazing. No, you read the last sentence. I like that. Send it to me.
Okay, I will. So Juliet, real quick, I want to make sure people hear your podcast because you are always interviewing people and sharing great information in the marketing space and author space in particular.
Yeah, my podcast is called Promote, Profit, Publish, and we focus on having experts on and also talking about new publishing trends and highlighting our authors. Because here's the one thing I know, there is no one path. We all produce content differently. We're all comfortable in different ways. And getting that comfortability, is that even a word? Comfortability. It is now. Being able to do that consistently and getting your message out there and building those personal relationships. That's what makes this all work. And we all do it in different ways. So there's never a one size fits all. So I'm hoping by hearing some of our authors talk about their path that you get some ideas of your own and go, oh, I've never tried that. And that sounds comfortable to me. So that's a lot of what the podcast is about. It's about straight talk. A lot of those people that we interview are my friends. So you get a lot of raw data about us.
I've been on your show and yes, there was some raw data.
Some of those moments you're kind of like, what? Did they just say that?
Yeah, I love you're just pointing out one of the things that I know. So you're, part of why you're here today is I wanted people to meet you, connect with you. We have the opportunity to be mentored by you at the Media Magic Sales and Marketing Intensive. And we say the same thing. It's like, if you don't want to be on TV, we're not going to force you to be on TV. If you don't like writing articles, there's so many different paths that work with you that we want to focus on what feels good and comfortable, but stretch you, as you know, Juliet, not everything is comfortable. Awesome. So I am really thrilled. The very first day, we're going to do something that we haven't done before together. From working with you over this last year and all the authors that you sent to me on press releases. And by the way, that bio is in your press release that we did for you this last one. I have learned a lot about other publishers' contracts. I'm not going to name drop here, but I've seen it kind of on the peripheral where people get excited about some of these big companies, but they have these smaller companies where they send you to, and you're thinking you're going with these big companies, but there's a lot that's going on. So I don't know if I'm making any sense, but I know that you and I are, I'm going to be interviewing you and kind of extracting some of the things that happen on this journey, just so that people can know how to navigate it. Do you want to share a little bit about that piece?
Yeah. So here's the deal with publishing contracts. Publishing has its own language in a sense. And the way something is positioned on the contract may not be what you think it is. And so it would just be like if an engineer came to me and said, Juliet, do a contract for a bridge or build a bridge. Like, I'm not going to know what that means. I'm not going to know what to do. And it's the same thing with publishing. And there are a lot of people out there who will put things in contracts that sound really great, but they're meaningless. Or they'll put something in that really is restrictive and you don't know about it. I'm going to just give you a brief example. We recently had someone bring us a contract and it promised an Audible upload, but all that meant was that she could go out and have the audiobook produced, and then they would upload it and they would take part of the royalties. And so when we really fleshed that out, she's like, no. And I told her most companies that you contract for an audiobook, they're going to do all this for you. You don't need to bring it back to this guy and have him get a piece of it. Another thing was they charged her for book returns, a book return policy. Her book is never going to be in bookstores. So between those two things, she had $1,700 she paid for that will never come to fruition. And she had no idea when she signed it that was it. So it's really about digging in and asking questions. And we review other people's contracts all the time. And if you go with them, great. If you don't, that's okay too. But really fleshing out, this is what this means. And is this what you thought it meant? And is this what you want? So
yeah, and I'm excited to also share what's happening in the trends in the publishing and printing and with Amazon, and there's a lot going on that that you've just been amazing at sharing. I have to share one of the things that shocked me about the contracts that you shared was how they say, oh, you have rights to the book and you own it, but we own the formatting.
Yeah, that happens a lot. So what that means, you guys, is, oh yeah, you own the rights to the book, but you know that manuscript that we put together, we own that. So if you want to do this, you have to take your work and have somebody else format it if you want to change companies. And that happens a lot when somebody will come to us because we don't take back end profits, and they'll say, they gave it to me in really bad shape, or they gave it to me at all, or I'll read the contract and go, yeah, you don't actually own that manuscript. Another big one that's out there is that I've recently run across is that they'll take a piece of your business profits. Like, yeah, you're going to pay me to self-publish, but also you're going to pay me a piece of your online profits from your programs and services. And you own that IP. You don't ever want to give any of your IP away. So we've talked about that, or where you're going to publish. Are you restricted? We just found out from one of our clients on a bestseller campaign that she had a contract that was Amazon exclusive, and she had no idea.
Yeah,
and so
who wants an exclusive when you're selling a book?
Well, not only that, but don't you want it in, ebook distribute? I mean, Amazon has Kindle, but it doesn't go everywhere. And there are a lot of countries that don't rely on Amazon the way we do. And when I say we do, I just picked up 5 packages at my doorstep for family members. Like, we have an Amazon problem. There should be like a Betty Ford for that.
I love it. Well, I'm really excited about that. I love this will be an opportunity for the attendees to ask direct questions, get input, whether you have a book or not. I found that we all have this story inside of us. And so to be able to look at all the different options and make an informed decision is really powerful. And then the next day, you're going to be talking about building a platform and building, just like we talked about in your bio, those raving fans and creating your base. Do you want to share just a little bit about that?
Yeah, so unfortunately, we're getting a lot of authors who haven't built a platform. So we just had one on right before this, love him to death, but he didn't even understand how to open a YouTube channel. So it was pretty crazy. So in order to do this, like when you start your book messaging back with the book developer, that's when you should start the messaging for this book. And, even hopefully you have an audience before that, but building that audience, connecting on social media, having those conversations, because when you do all this, it not only builds the audience for your book, but those personal connections build the audience for what's after the book. So if you have a program, product, or service, you can have that big launch splash, but what are you going to sell them next? So you have to have that plan in place. What are you going to do? What's that messaging? Where are you going to build this? Biggie, where's your audience at? We've had several people who are really good on Facebook, but we haven't been able to tear them away to LinkedIn to where their audience is really at for their product or their book. So there's a lot to it. And everybody, will say to me, a lot of people will say to me, well, I'm writing the book. Like, I don't have time to build that. Well, you have to build that content. You have to learn how to repurpose it. You have to be tech savvy enough to use those platforms effectively. And it doesn't mean everything. If there's just one and that's where your audience is at, then do it and do it well. And that you and I were talking before we got on, we actually are starting classes in May on how to do this because we're getting people who already have books or are already ready to publish that haven't done any of this, and they don't have a clue. So who are we going to sell books to?
And what I love about you, Juliet, and I just the meeting before and the interview before, is that you meet people where they're at and you help them with where they're at. And even though he didn't have all the stuff together, you know, as a client, I'm not like, we love empowered people that know what they're doing, but it was just so beautiful where you're like, I've got that, I'll help you with this. Like, you really, even though you say you're not a nurturer, to me, that's a nurturing act.
Oh, man. Don't destroy my image. That is so mean. Like, we're done.
So if you want to learn more, see the full agenda, go to MediaMagicBootcamp.com, MediaMagicBootcamp.com. Superbrandpublishing.com is Juliet. So Juliet, a couple more things that I think is really powerful with what you're doing is a magazine. And I know the attendees are going to be able to get access to this author's magazine. And I'm so used to just spitting it out, and I just want to spit it out, but I also want to inspire people to go to the event.
I know. So breakthroughauthormagazine.com. Yeah, there you go. It's free. It gets delivered to your inbox every month. And there's a little quiz attached if you'd like to take it. And it's so funny, the comments I'm getting on the quiz. They're like, are you trying to sell me something? Surprise, there's no sales here. We're gathering information. If you like us, make an appointment. If you don't, oh well, consume the magazine and go on with your life. Yeah. It's just really funny on the quiz, the comments like, I can tell you're trying to sell me something. No, you're not going to get an email selling you anything. You're not going to get, if you like the magazine and want to reach out to one of our contributors, great. If you don't, then, you know, use it. I guess you can't use it for firewood because it's digital. Okay. So I don't know what you do with it then to destroy it.
Well, I know, being a regular contributor, like we're given rock solid. I know one time I shared all these places to help you get booked on radio and TV and free lists. So I love your commitment to helping authors get out there. The last thing that I wanted to share, there may be one more, but recently you introduced me. I know this has always been big on you, of finding that audience and connecting with that, but you shared with me all of these reports and stats that I felt so empowered with information on what's going on in the world. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. So we have a selection of eBooks that are actually market analysis reports. And one of the things at the beginning of a book is that you need to know who your audience is. And a lot of times someone will tell us who their audience is, and then we'll go back to one of these reports and we'll go, yeah, not so much. So these reports are by sort of category, what your book's about, and it's demographics. And I'm actually going to talk about this at the event. I think when we talk about the platform building, it's demographics, websites, press, hashtags, what kind of jobs these people have. So it is a very comprehensive market analysis. And I'm going to share something. So the very first time I gave this as a talk, the owner of the group that I talked to raised her hand and she said, so how do we do this without doing this? Sounds like a lot of work. And so I'm here to tell you, because I'm a truth teller, it is a lot of work. But when you do this work, not only will your book be a better product, but your business is going to sell more, because that book and the business have the same demographic. So if you're not quite finding out where these people are on social media, or what websites they're consuming, or YouTube, what are they watching on YouTube? These are great reports, and they run $125. If I have your category, you know, we do sell them, but yeah, it's important. And it's not always who you think it is.
Yeah. And for me, I'm thinking also on the press release standpoint, those are stats that you know, if there's things that you're solving the problem for, you can share some of these direct stats on what's going on in the marketplace.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're always looking for stats when we do the press releases. You're always looking, and a lot of times people don't have them.
No,
so,
they don't. Yeah.
Yeah. That's
so
really great.
So if you're just listening for the first time, 7th Media Magic Sales and Marketing Intensive, this is where we get stuff done. Some people may say another word, but we get stuff done. This is working. We're going to be working on your elevator pitch. We're going to be working on your power bio. The minute you sign up, you get maybe the dream work. I love how Bert Oliva says, he says, I don't call it homework, I call it dream work. You get the dream work to get started. And when you show up, what I love about this is, during this working session, if you say, hey, I have a question about my book, you can get pulled aside in a room and meet with Juliet one-on-one and pick her brain. So there's some really great things that we do. I do encourage you to check out the VIP, because we have some exclusive stuff that we're doing there. We've got our VIP lunch. We have our VIP hot seat at the end with the elite. We also get one-on-one mentor sessions after the event, because a lot of times we come there and we get this stuff done, but we just need, it's like, hey, I wanted to talk to Tracy Hazard with Podetize and do that, one more connect. And so you have that included with it. Plus you get a free ticket to invite a team member or somebody that you love to join you.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Can I, you guys, if you're an author, this is all stuff you need, because if you want to get out there and do a talk or get on a podcast, or, if you're good enough to get yourself on TV, you need a media kit. You need a page on your site that has that power bio, that has the 100 word bio, 150 word bio, 300 word bio. You need to have all that stuff. You need to have sound bites from other places you've been, so that people can see if you're a good guest. So, this is the beginning of putting all of that together to get it out there into the world. So if you don't have this stuff done, this is where you can come and get it done.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Juliet. And you're doing my bestseller campaign. I'm working on my book and I'm so excited that.
Yeah, I'm excited too. And I don't know if you know this, but we just, for the hybrid publishing part of our company, we just brought on Jackie Jordan to bigger book, working with her, get TV guestpert to be able to get on TV, get booked into gigs, and get the word out about your book. Because here's the deal, guys. Going up, you should be selling your products, then you have the book launch, and a lot of times after the book launch, it all stops. So what is that plan after? How are you going to continue to sell books? How are you going to continue to bring people into what the next steps are? And working with Jackie is a year-long contract to do all that.
That's beautiful. And you share so much in the Breakthrough Author Magazine at breakthroughauthormagazine.com about how, if you're stuck, here you go. Keep going.
Yeah. I wish I could get Jackie to write articles, but she's far too busy.
Well, she's on Newsbacks and all this. Yeah, congratulations, Juliet. That is a big accomplishment for your team.
Yeah, it's really great. And we've added Sarah Burke this year, our content creator. Chris Johnson, book development. So we've got a pretty solid team going. We're looking for the USA Today Wall Street Journal bestseller list now.
Oh, you got it, girl. I'm so excited. Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for your time today. Those of you that are watching Media Magic Bootcamp, we hope to see you there. And Juliet, I just love working with you. You are an absolute power partner. She taught me the definition of power partners. It's all you, Juliet, that's helped me really pivot and run my business with a new business model. One personal question, because I asked Tracy one yesterday. So,
no, I'm not dating.
Do you want to date? Do you consider yourself on the market? That wasn't the question, but we might as well go there.
I have such a busy life. I don't even know where I would fit it in. Unless you play golf. If you play a lot of golf, I'm your golf.
Okay. So we're looking for somebody that plays golf. So I guess my only, if I was to ask a personal question, you just did a pivot also, I would imagine. Did you have to reinvent yourself a little bit with this pivot?
With the hybrid?
With everything that's happening in the world right now. Maybe there's another word for it.
Oh, with COVID and all that going on. Okay. So my pivot was all of a sudden my business grew, and it grew to the point where I didn't have any free time, and I live at a golf course. So I'm literally staring out the window when I should be helping you, going, why am I not there? So goals last year, serious goals last year, is I sat down with my staff and I said, this is my zone of genius, and this is all I'm doing in this company from now on. And I'm golfing 3 days a week. So we did this huge pivot into hiring Sarah, hiring Vita. I now have a personal assistant who's amazing. And so we did this pivot into, I expect you guys to handle all this. And I'm working in my zone of genius, and I'm out there playing now. And it is really, really worked. I'm a happy person now.
Yay. You deserve it. Awesome. I love that. That just shows us that we can truly create what we want. We just gotta, take charge and do it. And you are a get it done girl.
Well, not only get charge and get it done, but you gotta learn to let go. That was the hardest piece, was, oh my God, I have to, I hope you guys are good, because
trust somebody else to do it.
I'm trusting you.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. I'm excited to be with you the end of the month. And I look forward to seeing everybody there. Have a great rest of the day.
Thanks for having me.